Today we're out with the Canon M5. Just walking around, get some exercise. Actually forgot my microphone, so we'll see how this turns out with audio. The nice flip down screen of the M5, which is different. It does work. One thing that did happen recently, I got the Kastar AC adapter with the DC coupler for the second M50 streaming or PC stuff. Also, I got one for the M5 as well. When I do a lot of my video things, I'm doing longer form stuff, and it just helps out not to keep wrecking the batteries. One topic I want to talk about is with a camera system. I started with the Pentax stuff, and I had it back when they were just doing the standard smaller sensor APS-C digital SLRs. That worked nicely in a lot of ways. I was able to kit out my stuff and have a lot of lenses that had special uses and things, and there was definitely a lot of benefit with that. And then I went to the Nikon full-frame digital SLRs, but I don't have the budget, the means to really make that work. Now, it did work in some ways, and I was able to eventually get a decent kit, but I was often selling equipment to get another lens that might work better and some stuff, more things. And it was just a revolving door of not having certain types of tools to do specific tasks. I moved to the EFM stuff now. There have been a lot of cameras between here and there and everywhere. But with the EFM stuff, it's APS-C, it's lower cost, and it just helps out a lot. So I have a dedicated thing, kind of semi-dedicated for the talking stuff. And now I'm trying to set up one for the PC where it'll be doing screen share stuff, streaming, any type of tutorial thing where I need the computer. And that's pretty good. The EFM stuff has been working well enough that I haven't had a large urge to get into a different system, because they're actually, with the Sigma lenses being released, and just generally it seems like EFM is going okay with what equipment is available. I think it's definitely good enough for a lot of people. The truth is, I just want to take photos right here. At least so far, the EFM system has been good enough for what I've been doing. Now, I would like a camera that's even higher end than M5. It has custom modes, it's larger. Just for the straight photography stuff, dual card slots would be a big one. We'll see if that actually happens. Of course, the internal stabilization inside, which I think might happen eventually. So that would be nice, and just paying for it would be another matter. But in general, the M5, the M50, and actually the M6 Mark II does look interesting for some things. The M200, which could be good for just like straight streaming. However, it doesn't have a mic jack, so you need to do external audio in that case. It does have clean HDMI, as far as I can tell from the specs and what people have said. In general, lower cost stuff I think is good when you're doing different types of media, you're doing photo, video, or you're just trying to expand what you do, try to make certain things more and more efficient. Like I do with the video stuff, it does help out a lot with trying to get things out there and learn and keep improving. If your tools are very limited, that can be difficult to do some things. However, right now I'm just using one camera, so there are always, of course, counters to those type of arguments. When people like such as myself that make videos, either fully professionally or just doing it as a thing to, you're interested in it, there is that draw to make negative comments about a piece of gear, and I think some of it is valid, definitely, but in general, people are more interested to see the negative information than to see the positive. I'm going to look at some of my videos, and I did a M50 two-part thing. One was all good stuff for the most part, one was all bad stuff for the most part. I'm curious, I haven't looked at the stats, which one has more views. So maybe that could prove my point or disprove my point. We'll see. The little things do matter with camera equipment. It really depends on what you're trying to do and how knowledgeable you are to either get around it or use it to its fullest effect. With the M50, the M5, cameras like this that have the 24 megapixel sensor, it's not great in high ISO. It's just something you have to deal with. You can do it with lenses, you can do it with lighting. There's just ways to get around it. Now, the average person that just goes into a dingy, dark room and thinks that the camera is going to work super well, they're just not prepared for that. And maybe a Sony a6100 or the Fujifilm ones will do better in that situation. But you just have to get within those small little margins of difference and to deal with it depending on what you're using. Super beautiful today. Do definitely appreciate it a little bit more. We don't get to do it as much. Hope you enjoyed this little talk. In the comments, let me know how you do things, how it works out for you. So if you have full frame stuff, are you able to get all the specific needs in? Do you have to switch out your camera constantly to do this or that? Or even if you're in the APS-C stuff, same situation. Have you considered trying to get a second camera, trying to get a second lens? I have actually 2 kit lenses, one right here, and then sometimes I use another one, sometimes I use it at the same time. Having a good tool set really helps, makes you more efficient, it makes things work better. Hope you enjoyed this little talk about camera equipment while I get some nice exercise.